Hi there, my name is Andy Musall with Fresh Source Farms, and today I'm going to teach you how to clean and sanitize your stainless steel harvesting tables. So here at Fresh Source Farms, we've been growing microgreens for about 4.5 years. We also do edible flowers, but we get a lot of these tables very, very dirty every single day, doing a variety of different tasks. We plant on these tables, we harvest on these tables, we water flowers on these tables. So 3 times a day, we typically actually clean and sanitize these completely. And I want to make sure you guys understand what the process looks like so you can make sure you're doing it safely at your place as well. We are a GAP certified farm, so we actually have to keep records of this kind of stuff to make sure we're doing it right. But I would also encourage you, even not as a GAP certified farm, to actually still do the cleaning as well on a regular basis. So let's get into some of the supplies that we need. So first thing we're going to need is some water, which we just keep in a spray bottle. We've also got a mixture of ZeroTol HC, which is, I guess, 17 fluid ounces for every 20 gallons is the mix. So that's whatever that calculates out to, the size of this bottle, that's what we do. We also have a dedicated scrub brush and a squeegee. So this brush is only used to actually clean these tables. We also have this squeegee that's dedicated to just wiping off the tables after the fact. And last but not least, you need some kind of a detergent. In this case, we're actually using 7th generation. They're free and clear. So this is actually a plant-based soap. It's really, really nice. It works great. You need very little, and you're gonna see that when we actually go through this process. Last thing you're gonna need is some kind of a trash can. You can hopefully see this one in frame, but it actually is what we basically wipe all the water right into when we're actually finished. So let's show you the first step. Okay, so the very first step that we're gonna do is actually take some paper towels, just to wipe off the debris off the table that's already on there so we don't get into our scrub brush. So we got a little bit of water here. You can see what I'm actually wiping up. So this table was just used to film another video. So it's got a little bit of stuff on it on top. See, there's more dirt. This is stuff you can't even hardly see until you start wiping it down. See that? So then we're gonna go and hit it with a spritz of water. So we're just using regular water here out of our spray bottle. Which, by the way, I would definitely recommend these Zep Professional Spray bottles. These are the best ones that we've used so far. They have a really nice handle on them, really big squeeze thing. Then we actually put numbers on ours as well, so we make sure we don't put the wrong spray nozzle in the wrong bottle. So then we're gonna take our 7th generation, and you're gonna see I'm gonna put a very small amount. That's actually probably about 3 times what I actually need to do this table, believe it or not. Very small amount. I'm gonna take my scrub brush and just scrub it in there really good. You can see how much soap this is actually producing. All right, so you can see the scrub brush itself is actually pretty clean. I got one little tiny piece that I must have missed when I was wiping off. So I'll put that right here in the trash. Then what we do after that is we take our water again. We spritz everything down. Really the idea behind this is just to try and get that soapy water to be a little less insane. So it's kind of diluting it just a tiny, tiny bit. And this is where the squeegee comes in handy. So now we're actually gonna squeegee all of this right into the trash can. So we'll start in the one corner, come down, come across the front, go right into the trash. Do the same thing, back corner, come across the next row, right into the trash. This way you don't have to worry about having a floor drain available right next to where your tables are to actually rinse everything off. You can run it right into the garbage. So one more pass. And what's cool is, other than a couple drips that I got on the floor by accident because the trash can isn't where it normally would be, ended up coming out pretty clean. So you get a little bit of soap on there. We usually rinse this off after it's done. And then from there, we'll take the water again, hit it a third time. And the goal now is basically just try and get all the soapy water off of the table. So we're going to use our paper towels again and wipe the whole thing down. Now you may have to do this more than once, depending on how thick the soap is on your table. That's why you don't need much. A little bit goes a long ways. And make sure you get around the edges, because there will be soapy water that ended up cascading over the sides. All right, so now we've officially have cleaned our table. So the last thing we have left to do is take our ZeroTol solution, which again, this is 17 fluid ounces for 20 gallons of water. We literally put that much ZeroTol HC actually in the bottle, and all the rest of this is actually just straight water. We're going to spray this down nice and good. And then we're just going to leave it. So you actually want this stuff to air dry. That's the best way for it to actually sanitize your table. So we'll let this sit and it'll dry on its own. And even though we talked about being a GAP certified farm, this same process also works for produce safety rule, which is probably something you'll run into before you run into GAP. Produce safety rule, I believe, is about $25,000 a year that you have to be making in sales. And that means that they can actually come in and do a general audit on your farm to make sure you're doing things the right way. So that method will work for both GAP and produce safety rule in the United States. It's also super important to make sure that you're actually using a sanitizer that's labeled as food contact surface capable. It's something that they actually have to go through to make that happen. ZeroTol HC is actually the same ingredients as what they call Sanidate. So Sanidate 5.0 is also another great option. That one is labeled as food surface contact safe. So you can certainly use that one as an alternative to ZeroTol. Regardless of what you use for your sanitizer, just make sure you're actually following the instructions on the label for your sanitization mix. The label is the law in the end, so make sure you're actually using it correctly. And so you might also be thinking, why did we use soap when you can just wipe off the table, get all the debris off with water, and then actually just go ahead and sanitize it from there? The idea is that soap actually breaks up the oil, the organic material, and the soil that's actually left on your table. It allows for the dirt to be more easily removed, and the sanitizer alone would not actually polarize the particles, and they would not be rinsed away as easily. Or as thoroughly. The leftover dirt particles can harbor microbes, which you do not want on your table. You want those gone, so please use soap. And lastly, you saw me mention that I was actually wiping down the edges of the table as well. You want to do that because you can actually leave behind debris there, and it doesn't take much for you to accidentally rub against it with your shirt or something like that and actually lift the debris back up on the table. So make sure as you're cleaning the table, make sure you clean those edges and make sure you prevent that from happening. So that's how we clean and sanitize our tables here at Fresh Source Farm. So it's a multi-step process, but it's a lot easier than bringing a hose over and trying to hose everything off and then having water go everywhere. It keeps you from having to mop up standing water on your floors. Just keeps the whole process quick and simple. Everything goes right into the trash where it can get absorbed into the many paper towels that we throw away every single week. So hopefully that was helpful for you guys. If you want to subscribe to this channel, feel free to do so. We plan on posting a lot more how-to videos on how to grow different plants. We're currently working on a project where we're actually comparing two soils against each other too. So stay tuned for that video. And I'll put some links in the description as to where you can find the spray bottles and other supplies that we use here at the farm. There'll be affiliate links for Amazon. So if you feel like you want to buy those products and support us, cost you nothing out of pocket, we would greatly appreciate it. Thanks so much. We'll see you in the next video.